Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Roxy Journal of Stitchery, Volume 7, Still Life. Just thought I'd do a quick little video right here. As you can see, I'm missing my bunch of flowers in the vase. If you remember back to the first couple videos, I deliberately didn't stitch this piece down because I had a feeling there was going to be a lot of embroidery needed because I just can't help myself. So, and here comes the fudge. I decided to leave that detached so I can keep coming back to this piece. In addition, I've also been auditioning some of Rachel's fabrics. I'm not sure whose I saw. No, it's gone. There probably a couple images popped up on the Facebook group where they've worked in some of Rachel's fabrics. I believe that's one of her new fabrics. So I've just been sort of placing bits and pieces around the place, letting it sit and percolate, as they say. So I'll definitely be working in, I'm sort of happy with that so far. And it's picking up the black that's appearing in the stripes of the vase and those little bits of embroidery, which I'm pointing to, and they're not even there. Anyway, that makes sense. Fudgy's just entered the room and collapsed on the ground for a stretch. So yeah, it's a gloomy day today, perfect day to stitch. And look, I'm catching up on my videos. There's Kate, and Marion's done something, reverse applique on a jacket. And then yeah, so big day of stitching in front of me. Let me just show you outside because it's so gloomy and showers coming. We're getting these terrible levels of rainfall. Well, that's really interesting to be yapping and showing you that. Let's focus on the fudge. Townsville, oh my goodness, and not just Townsville, north and south and west of Townsville, they are copping it. And that rain is sort of showering down our way, but it's not what the guys are getting up there. So it's just going to be a day perfect for stitching. So I might pause the video and actually take you outside and show you the weather because it's really gloomy. Hey, we're heading outside for a quick look at the weather, and here's Pepper and Bandit to greet me. Hey, nutcase and nutcase. Pepper jumps up straight away on. Oh, Bandit, stop it. Jumping up there, just unruly, guys. Look at Pepper. She's on the table because she goes, I'm going to get cuddled here because Miss Pepper doesn't have to compete with Mr. Bandit. Hey, baby girl. Aww. So you get up high so you don't have to share mum with Mr. Bandit because he's a nutcase, isn't he? Good girl. All right, let's show you the weather. Look, it's really gloomy. Showers of rain coming through. The lake actually looks, gosh, I've got sidetracked. I'm supposed to be stitching flowers, guys, for goodness sakes. I just thought this is probably my last chance to get outside for a few days because they're expecting this rain. And my lake goes really grey and silvery. Whatever the clouds are picked up in the actual water. So you don't have to look far to figure out what's going on. If it's beautiful blue, we got a beautiful day. But hey, Bandit, there's Bandit, hey baby boy. Oh, Mr. Bandit. Oh. Get down. Oh, he's a goofball. So Bandit, we might get a quick swim in today, but gee, I think things are going to be a little bit wet. All right, guys, I might head inside. Haven't shown you outside for a little while, and I thought I usually take you on a walk of a nice, bright, sunny day. But I thought, look at that. Oh, you poor people up North Queensland, I tell you, shocking. Too much water, 1,000 mil. Was it 12 hours? It just, oh, it's starting to spit. Here we go. We're going to start getting a bit of the tail bottom of that weather system. Won't be as bad as the guys up north, but all right, I'm going to pause the video. Yeah, me again, and it's starting to spit. Look what I've just found. That's a hole. Bandit. Oh my goodness, did you do it or did Pepper do it? Probably you. Oh my goodness, someone's dug a hole overnight. They've been in here for some reason. Oh, there's the rain. It's really coming down now. They've been in here a lot lately, so there must be a lizard or something. We've had such severe heat. I've even lost my little violas. They're just hanging in there. Oh, it's starting to rain. Bandit, did you make that hole? Oh, look at Peppa Peach. Just relax. Hey, baby girl. Yeah. Aww. dog. Hey, Bandit. Oh, baby boy. No. You've been snuffling your nose in the garden. I can tell because you've scruffed up the end of your nose. It looks all tender. That tells me you're the one who did it. Hey, Peachy. We'll just pat Pepper. That's why she's up high. All right, guys. I'm going to go inside. It's now starting to rain. So time to retreat. Needle and thread. Maybe a hot cross bun. Hey, Pepper. Maybe I sit out here a little bit longer. Get a little bit of doggy love. All right. Oh, now it's really coming in. Okay, gotta go. Okay, we're heading back in. Oh my goodness. Now Fudge is like, how dare you go out there and pat those hounds? You're really funny. Hey, Fudge. We are really sidetracked today. There's the Fudge. Yes. Hey, beautiful boy. Whoop, where are you? Trying to pat him through the camera. Hey, Fudge. He's doing really well, guys. Gets his needle once a month that helps him to stand strong and tall at the back. Without that, he gets quite weak due to his kidneys starting to stuff out. Hey, little buddy. All right, let's stay focused. Let's get into the craft room. And that was probably too fast. There's my piece. So what I've done, which is the whole purpose of this video, is I've removed all of the three-dimensional flowers. I took a photo, so they're all now safe. I have loosely pinned the pieces. This is really wobbly. I should have you in my stand. I was just filming the Just Because quilt, finishing the February block, so I should stop and put you in there, but it'll only be a moment. Everything's pinned. I'm now going to tack everything. Am I? Yeah, I might. I do want to overcast stitch around everything as well. So just using a pale cotton, go around all the edges and pin it down. I'd love the piece to feel quite loose and raised, which would mean not doing that and doing invisible stitch through it. Because, you know, I like how, see how there's a shadow under that leaf? Let me put you in the stand. I'm going to hold, yeah, I'll pause and I'll put you in the stand. All right, you're in the stand. Now I can focus on what I'm talking about and what I'm thinking and my actions instead of holding the camera. I've got to make a decision on how tight I want my piece. If I want a three-dimensional look, I believe that I need depth, and my frame is 1 inch thick, and I'm achieving depth with these, but I'm not going to get that if I get really tight on my stitching, as in these edges all go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heavily stitch down the embroideries right around. That in turn will lock down a lot of ends around the place. I think is what I will do. And then these pieces of fabric, just bear with me guys, I'm just sort of rolling it all through in my head. I think these guys will be invisible stitched, just randomly, so I get that puffiness. I do plan on coming back through the flowers and adding more layers of, you know, goodness knows what. I was on Etsy last night looking around for cheesecloth. Hang on, we're getting sidetracked. Here we go, sidetracked again. Now I was looking for cheesecloth in the wee hours of the morning without knowing what I actually own already. So that's another thing I want to check out. Now, I bought, sorry guys, I'm just rearranging the house here. I bought from, I'll put it on the screen on this video, Petals Petals. Oh, goodness sakes. No, where's my phone? Hang on, guys. Just in case I forget to tell you. There's an Etsy store in Australia that I purchased ages ago, this cheesecloth, and I use it all the time. And in bed in the wee hours of the morning, I was thinking I probably don't have many of these tones, but I didn't know what I had because I was in bed. And look at that, I do. So thank goodness I didn't order that. Got plenty. Let me tell you the name of that store because I'll probably forget to put it on the screen. It should be in my recent. I typed in, yes, Fudgy. There she is. Petals of Henna. So that's what I was looking at last night. And see all those beautiful tones of mauve? You can buy it in different sizes. You don't need much. So I was thinking about the 18 inch by 18 inch would be heaps. And that would help me build up. What's that one? Pastel pink. And the good thing about it is she's got the little stickers on her pieces. So if I go back here, pastel pink. So I already own that one. I wonder what this one's called. And I think I have enough mauve. Okay, so they were the two that definitely caught my eye. Blush is very pale. Plum is a little bit darker. So if I did think I needed more tones, I'd probably just go those two because I already own those two. Lucky I didn't go shopping at 2 in the morning. See, it's dangerous. The other thing that I got from her, and I couldn't see it on a website, are these. Gosh, I've used these so many times. This is a ombre in one tone. So let me put this away because I saw in Rachel's video, she's had the same idea of to build up texture using these types of, you know, little bits and pieces. So that's going to be perfect. I don't need to chase any more product down. The other thing in here is I have this guy. He's my favorite. And that one's almond. So that'll help bring me a little bit of white into it. So they're on the side. Won't be using a lot of them. Just fudgy bee, excuse me. Just a little bit. And that's when then beads and things like that come in. What's this guy? A little bit darker. Mushroom. Oh, look at you. That, I don't even know where I got it from. That'd be super cool on a project I'm thinking about. Let's put that on the pile of project I'm thinking about because I forget otherwise that I've got things. All right. I've just finished filming Susanna's piece for the retreat, and a lot of those mossy, earthy tones I was using for that piece in amongst the mushrooms and the bunnies and things like that. You'll see that series of videos when I get back from the retreat. All right, focus. Very distracted today, can't you tell? All right, I'm going to invisible stitch down these flowers so that I still have these little curled up bits everywhere because I love the shadow it's throwing. Fudgy bee. The cross stitch embroideries will be completely stitched. I'm going to treat them differently. I can see those beaded beads all through those. So these will be very textured with this, and these will be beaded. So what I might do is I'm going to secure it. My piece is still fairly big, but I think I'm sort of scooting around the outside of it, so things in the middle won't get as sort of knocked around. I will needle turn applique with a little stitch that down. This is just going to hang in the breeze until we're ready to attach it to the main piece. So there you go. It doesn't feel so daunting. Fudgy. Doesn't feel so daunting when Fudgy's over near my threads. And in there are some fabrics from my, oh, hello, here we go. Remember I was using these? Oh, guys, These are poinsettias that I sell in my business, and when I was doing the Christmas series, I was cutting into these. So I'm thinking I might even bring a bit of that in. Oh yes, like that'd be a nice nod to my world, to have some of the materials that I've curated over years of creating products for my business. I'm thinking these. All right, leave them out. And then see, that brings in sequins. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be the best. I'm loving it. All right. I think we've got a bit of a plan, guys. Well, I might dodge off. I will have a bit of a stitch over the next few days, and then I'll come back if I get into some of the really cool stuff and attach it to this video. All right, guys. See you later. Bye. Okay, I'm back. A day has gone by. Actually, I think 2 days have gone by. I think it's Tuesday today since I filmed those few little bits. We still have an overcast, dreary looking day. So nothing's changed weather-wise, but what I have achieved is I have stitched down all of my elements and all pins have gone. And like I said in the video, I want this feeling to feel like it's got a bit of movement still. So I'm not, like I would in the past, I'm not going to stitch down puffiness that's appeared. You probably can't see it, but there's a little bubble of air there. Perfect. I've got shadows still being cast. So invisible stitch was the perfect scenario. In the past, I would have gone around and overcast stitched all of these edges so that they don't fray. But that's, you know, a piece that hands are touching in a journal, or a piece that I'm dragging all over the place and working on constantly, as in a table runner or a panel for a wall. Because this is under glass, I've got the luxury of these edges can stay, I guess, a little elevated. But I have to take my time because this is such a coarse weave. It just disintegrates like that. I did tell you, I think in the last video, that I put a bit of art glitter glue on the perimeter of all of these flowers. I'm so pleased I did, because it's just helped with that, you know, could fall to bits. Now I have stitched my vase down, but ever so subtly. I want that depth, so it literally looks like that's three-dimensional. If I can turn that up and see how that's not actually attached. You can actually put your finger in there. So my stitches have gone at the rear and down the inside of all of that. I haven't caught the very edge like you would needle turn applique. I've slithered a very thin, sharp beading needle down underneath everything. So the stitches are sort of below that fold. I'm really happy with that. It feels a bit more ceramic-like. Now, where are we at? I want to have a play with some of these flowers. In the time it took to stitch everything, it gives me a really good chance to have a look at the design of each flower. And I think my theory is less is more, but I do want to do classic Corrine, which is a more. So this is going to be interesting. So the flowers like this blue one, what I'm thinking of doing is highlighting just one part of that blue and maybe 1 or 2 petals. Like, just try and pare it back a little bit. Same with the big ones. These here, the jewelry's out. As I was stitching them, I thought, you know, I could come in there and embroider some of those elements, like the leaves. But I sort of like that simple design of the black and white lines. These, I really want to bead them. I want to bead them, and I want to add more threads to really define the roses. Having said that, I've just glanced up to the TV where I'm projecting my iPad to, and they look quite defined. But when I'm here close up, all I'm seeing is just lots of cross stitch. So that's interesting, because if this is hanging on a wall, maybe I need to be a little careful because remember when you do those cross stitches and everything looks very flat, and then the moment the black sketch-like line goes in, and it's usually one strand of stranded cotton, the piece just comes alive like a wheelbarrow, and then you go back when you finished all of the crosses and you put in the spokes with that black single line of thread, and suddenly you see a wheel. That's what I'm thinking I'll do to this. That's classic me back in the 90s doing cross stitch and really digging how these come up. Beads, highlight stitch. I think I can go a little bit more silly on this, which means that may need to stay simple. Anyway, that's just my random thoughts at the moment. In the meantime, I want to have a play with these fabrics because they're out on my desk and I just want to see what I can achieve with them. So I also have those. So let's have a little look further into this pile. See, they are different colours. Colour is interesting. You think you got the right colour and you may not. See, that just really changes it. As much as I love that colour, if I went for it, I think I'd have a whole lot of trouble. Maybe it could go on that flower. But it's different, no. So I think I mentioned it's Thursday today. Oh, no, Tuesday. I'm actually spending the day with my cousin and we're going thrifting. How exciting. We just were sitting around thinking, let's get together, let's go do something. And we're like, thrifting. We haven't done that for ages. Oh, I like that. Just that little bit of net. Let's get you out. So stay tuned. Whether we find anything. What I did find this morning, because I'm in that we're going thrifting mood, I might turn that and give it a folded edge. That might help it feel like it's a petal if it's folded on that bottom edge. I hopped onto Marketplace and I spotted a item that turns out is 750 metres up the road. So when I go and pick up my cousin, who's also 850 metres up the road, I'm going to swing in and pick up this piece. It's a white wicker cane rectangular tray. Then it has 4 legs and a second tray, so it's tiered. And I thought that would be handy to make a surface in my sewing room, double the surface. So that's the start of my thrifting. So I get myself in the mood. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this at the moment. I'm literally cooling my heels before I have to head for the day. It's about 9:30. I finished stitching this morning. I'm heading out thrifting with the cousin. She's also got an appointment at an x-ray department to get an x-ray. So I thought, well, I can take you to that and we can gallivant on our way. I think that's at 2:00. So I'm literally just cooling my heels, waiting for that time of pick me up at 11:30, and then I'll chuff off for the day. So I've been doing a bit of housework. I'm just playing here with the layering of this. It's a completely different colour, but I think I can pull it off if we just have just a little bit. And then let's have a look at this guy. Do a similar shape. Yeah, so that's when I found the wicker layered piece. Oh, I found a crocheted crocheted tablecloth down in Brisbane. So I purchased that. Oh, I like that. If I just pull you down a bit. I might just zoom in so you can see what the hang I'm doing here. Let me go right in on that. Let me just move my... So I've got that guy first cut out as a petal. That pale pink laying on top. What I might do is I've still got my needle threaded here from that stitching everything down. I'm going to pop a few stitches into this as an element away from the piece. I wonder if I could pop a couple beads on this as well. And then when it's completed, it can then just go onto the piece as, you know, it's already secure. I think that's the trick to working with these big pieces, guys. Remove as much as you can to your hands, get it stitched, embellished, and then all you're doing is adding that piece back to your work. I could just see an artist that does collaging in a massive studio having lots of elements being made over a series of months, and then it all comes together in a beautiful big artwork. I think breaking it down away from the piece is something you need to consider. Now I might just have a look at my beads. So that's the little bit, the morsel. Nothing like a morsel. And that's the flower. So it's just a hint of something. Then I'd pick another flower somewhere. I don't think I've got anything in those colour tones. Maybe something will come out of the woodwork as this goes on, but apricot, don't think so. But I definitely can pull off this pale pink. So I'm thinking I'll just, this little blue flower here, see him here, that guy? I think I can pull off that pale pink in there, so that will get some texture. So at the moment, I'm going to work with what I got. Let me just see what we got in our beads. I didn't think to bring the beads over. There's some little apricot ones. They've got potential. They're an apricot. They're not bad. Ooh. This is like my go-to container. And there's usually my favourites in here. So let me just bring that. I'm zoomed in. So I've got to remember that. So I've got plenty of those. That's great. They're a good match, aren't they? Oh, look. Look at that. And it's a mix of things. I wonder where I got that from. So there's little beads in there. That's a pinky apricot. He's a definite. A bit of matte takes the glossy out of things. Probably not that colour. We could get a little bit interesting with little clusters of little sequin flowers. And then yeah. Okay, so what we might do, so they're not bad either. If those matte ones weren't any good, those ones. Let's empty this of, so I don't want to go too shiny. I'll leave them there. I'm going to take all of this out. There's gold. Always have gold. There's a colour palette. Let's get rid of all of those bits. I've got my little container now for the project. So as we Did I just break the lid on that? Are you serious? I just emptied it and found these in the bottom. Look at that blue. That blue is that. So I'll have to go on the hunt. See, look at those mixed together with the blue. There's a pale blue in there too, so I must own those somewhere. Were they in that lot I just ditched? Seriously, did I just ditch? No. Oh, I could ferret around for hours. Is that the blue? Sorry guys, I'm right up in your grill, aren't I? Yep, there's the blue. So that, I think we've got something. That's pretty good for the fabric that is part of this whole family. The other thing I need to have a look at too is some cottons that suit. Okay, I've just gone off on another tangent. Now I'm over at the threads, guys. Let's have a look through the threads as well. Because if I'm going into town, I could pick up some threads if we don't have anything. That's not bad. Oh, hello. You're in. We got anything a bit darker? Like that throat, that colour there. If I don't have beads or fabric to suit, well then let's stitch into it. Right. It's nearly a brown, isn't it? Like it's nearly in those. I wish I had some wools in those colours, but I don't think I do. I'd have to go way further afoot. Well, that's a good start. Like, I guess don't overcomplicate it. Did I not just say that a few seconds ago? Let's just have one more look. The other thing you could say is I'm getting very matchy-matchy. Maybe I should push the boundaries a bit and choose things that, how about you? Gosh, I've had some of these threads for oh yeah. That might punch that up a bit. I've had some of these threads for a billion years. Poor old things. It's about all we used back in the day. Early 90s when I discovered cross stitch and did a heap of patterns, and of course they're always different colour tones. Yeah, that's good. There's my 2 threads. Don't look for any more. That is enough. We're not even going to look at you yet. Let's just play here. We haven't even looked. Oh, there's a green I just spotted. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Look. If that's not... Oh gosh, you can't even see. All right. Calm the farm. Let me zoom up. I'm leaving this behind. Over here. And zoom up again. See that there? Look at that. Oh, you're in. Anything else here while we're in the green department? Nothing jumping out at me. That's not bad for a dark colour, not the black. But we mustn't rule out black. So I had a crazy idea earlier where I outline around this in black to bring more black in, but now that I've got that scrap sitting there, I'm thinking that's just a little bit too out there for me. So I like those for the leaves. They certainly complement. That blue, it's nearly like a duck egg blue. I remember having a trouble with blue in another piece. I just didn't have anything that really toned. That's pretty good. Gee, all right. Okay, so now I'm starting to get a bit of a colour palette together. And some beads. So let's, oh my goodness, clean the bits out from my last adventures. So pop all these together. That's my leaf palette for the moment, and that's my flower palette for the moment. We might be able to get some of these beads in here too. Oh, that's good. Put that away. So now that can sit by me on the couch. Now let's have a look at these beads, because I want to have a play with this. So what are we going to do with it? Do we bring in, I'll zoom you back in, guys, so you can be right up in the action. The other thing we've got to have a think about is centres of flowers are great to play with too. I wouldn't say I'm a lover of my centres. I wonder if I do a little gold flower. I feel like I'm all thumbs. It's the adrenaline. Oh my goodness. I think I've got some of those in here. Yep. I hope this needle's okay, because I didn't think I was beading. Yep. And remember the rule, the more you look, the more you see. It's a piece on the wall. So even if it's not full on everywhere, you do little vignettes of information. So every time the piece is seen, it's got another little element that they may not have seen the last time. And I think we've got the luxury of a month, if not 6 months. Like, let's be honest, this is a lot of work, guys. Do not beat yourself up if you think, wow, how am I going to get that done? It's going to be a challenge. And here comes someone into the room. Gaz has just come in. I might pause the video. I think he has something to say. Back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. It was nothing riveting. What was I saying? What I was saying was more riveting. We've got time is what I was saying. So, yeah, don't feel overwhelmed, because we can pick away at this. 6 months, you know, is just such a blessing for a project of this nature. And it may even be that your first piece, I'm saying that you might do a second piece now, you sort of find your feet with and have another idea. Well, you've got the potential of starting a second piece. And even some of the prompts that are coming, maybe there's some that we want to explore some more. You know, maybe they don't make it to your piece and you want to do a little study of, what am I doing now? I sort of feel like these sequins, I think I got these at Fleur Woods. She had a big container of random combinations of sequins and beads that we could help ourselves to. But I don't know. No, that doesn't look right. So yeah, there might be a prompt coming up that you think, you know, that just doesn't quite fit, but you are inspired by the prompt itself and you do a second piece to really drill into something that didn't quite make the first, you know. I'm trying to undo my thread here. There we go. I feel like I need some more beads, but maybe a bit of gold. Gold brings light to the piece. But we don't want it cheesy. But then when I get to those bright coloured flowers, things are going to get cheesy. Come on, get off my finger. My big clod fingers everywhere here. Let's have a play with a couple gold beads. Just as a sparkle. Yep, that's what we need. So we've made a petal in the classic cluster, build a cluster of morsels. So you could bring lace into this as well. Have I got any lace kicking around? What's this over here? Too white, but you could bring little bits of something else to it as well. I might make my cluster high one side and drift it out this side so that it's not so symmetrical. Oh gosh, this is hours of work, guys, seriously. I will do some thread painting, but it's going to be weaving, I think. I like the effect that weaving can give. So some of these flowers, maybe that's the track I go down. I put a bit of weaving into those tones just to build up again another layer of, that's 2 beads then. That's pretty cool. I can get them to stay on top of each other. That's just giving me quite a lot of height. That's clever. Just saying. So these are going to be riveting viewing, these videos, for the next couple of weeks. They're just going to be me fiddling around with this piece, I think, and exploring different ways of adding texture and dimension to this, which is where we're aiming. We don't want it flat. Let's take full advantage that I've got a frame that has a side. Those of you who are going straight onto a canvas, you're in the same opportunity boat too, because you've got no restrictions whatsoever to the height. I might just sneak my... So I've got 3 little flowers with the pearl on each one, and then a thick little cluster here. I just feel like I need to do a bit of scattered beads up here to soften this top edge. Gosh, if you really wanted to go to town, you could add brand new flowers in through your piece that are just beaded, like your own creation. There's no fabric guiding you. It's just beads. I like the idea of, oh, that's through my finger. Oh, seriously. Oh my goodness. Having a bad. You'll see a video coming up at the end of February for the Just Because quilt. I stood on a pin. Well, I didn't stand on it. I shuffled my foot along and the bloomin' thing was on the mat. I was spinning that quilt around so much filming it that a pin must have dropped out of the quilt and has landed on the mat and I've stepped sideways and the pin, and it was one, of course it's one of those, you know, the real thin, and it went into the second little toe, not the little toe, the one next to it. And oh, I didn't swear bad, but I did say one or two naughty words. Then I regained my composure and just put in a heap of bip, 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 bip. Oh my goodness. So stay tuned for that riveting video. I like how that's curled up a bit. That's a bit nice. Let's put you away. Where were you going? In here. I want to show the depth, so I'll keep that line. I won't cover it because I think I've just lost the shape of that petal. So we'll come out a little bit. And then we had it a bit wider, didn't we? Let's... yeah. I like how I can still see the layer underneath. Yeah. So how are we going to get this on there now? We're not. We're going to just create elements and then come back and stitch them on all in one hit. So I'm just going to try and put a little pin through there to hold you. And let's see what else we can do. Maybe we can do, I think if I do him, it might look messy. We'll give it a go, hey? Yeah, see, it's going to look messy. I'd have to come back a bit. Let's just pull it back a bit and not cover the whole piece. Why is my table creaking so much? Never noticed that before. Because I've moved my mat where my arm is. One of Gary's mates has just turned up, having a bit of a working bee in the shed. I'm aiming for this dark pink now. Yeah, see, it looks a little messy. I'm losing that beautiful leaf. I don't think that's a smart move. What about we explore some cheesecloth in that tone? See, there's that risk of it getting, see, it's very light. Maybe let's get the fold, because we've got a leaf that's got a fold. Yes, 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 there we go. Just soft, let it kick up. I don't know if you can see how that's curling up to me there. And then I'll just anchor around the back here when I stitch her down. Okay. Now, what do we do for the center of the flowers? What do we put in there? Do we go with some beads? I feel like we need to show this edge. Let's push you back a bit. Let's mat that down a bit. That was felt, you'd say felting it, so we can see the edge of that petal. Just to keep that. Now that green to me is a little bit overpowering. Maybe we try a little bit of darker cheesecloth in the pink to go into there. It's getting very messy. Do I embrace it and then put a heap of those in there? Where's that piece of this we cut out? Do we give ourselves a base? And we stitch them onto there. I sort of feel like we're creating a whole new centre for this flower. Is that a bad thing? Do we stay away from the centre and let that green be there? Because we're putting all this pink in and it's muddling up. You know, that flower works because the artist has done that. So we just let that be and stick to what we were talking about and make texture on the petals themselves. So let's just put another little bit of cheesecloth there. This time, that same piece. We bring you up here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then maybe we put a smidgen of this pink. Just a bit. In a similar shape. On there. And then stick to our recipe. Don't go and reinvent things again. And we put, did I have a knot? So this little guy is going away for now. Maybe there's a better flower elsewhere that I can focus just on the center. Maybe I'll come up with a way to make that distinctively different in the future, that we can come back and it'll hold its own there. And it might be a case of we go more copper tone. So we're going, oh, that is different. Maybe we expand on the blue. Maybe she has no idea what she's going to do. So I've got two little morsels here. I'm just going to stitch them together first. Put a knot. I think I'm honestly going to have to move this piece to the end of my table and have all these bits around, and then when I sit down to work on it, it's just there, because there's no way I can do this on the couch. This piece is just not going to happen on the couch. So I'm thinking I need a second spot with the chair that I can just go in and have all this. Ow, did I go through my finger again? No. So let's put a few little, put a couple little beads. Yeah. I do have champagne beads, but I like that glitter there on this petal is just caught my eye. See, that champagne is different to that yellow gold. But I think I'll continue, because if I go and hunt that out, I think it would make my flowers very matchy-matchy. Let's put a little sequin flower next. So maybe things like that is the center. I don't know. I know not know. Here. What do you use? One of you guys. I don't know how long this video is. I'm just in the zone. I think I took you on a walk at the beginning of this video, didn't I? For goodness sakes, so talk about sidetracked. Now, what would we put a little bead in the center of the flower? We're slowly getting a little recipe. We'll just do the one because it's only a tiny little morsel that I'm adding to this. Come on. So my homework for now will be to keep making little morsely bits for the apricot flowers. I will stitch those into position when I get a few in an area. I won't go on to anything else until I catch back up with you guys. I'm not sure how often the videos will come. I don't know. Depends how many hours I get to put into this piece, I guess, and moves it forward. So there's our little cluster. That'd be so hard to do if this wasn't in my hand away from the actual piece. The more I handle it too, the more it's going to rough it up. Rachel's frame sounded good. I did have a look online and it is available Amazon Australia. So if anyone was considering it, you probably would be able to get one. I could get it delivered in Brisbane, but then they wouldn't deliver to Barham Heads. And I was like, oh. But then it was $200. And I thought, you know, it's just more. I don't think I need it. I'll just give myself a day to play here. I'm just putting a little bit more cheesecloth in there to extend down. Now we'll put that little morsel. And then maybe we put some lighter cheesecloth into there. And I stitched this standing at the cutting table, and then I did move to the couch this morning and I just let it gently drape over my knee. I did have to pretzel myself a bit to get it up there. There, that's a two-tone of, looks lilac-y on the camera for you guys. So there's a cluster that's extended somewhat. We've still got a bit of light bouncing around here. I might even drift a few beads when I attach this. I'll drift a few beads into the base there so it looks like it's coming down onto the cheesecloth a little bit. Okay, I'd probably leave that one so that it's got a bit of air. And what I might do is, let me just change the camera a bit. There, see that edge there? That'd be my next one. So let's start with a shape, and I'll just sort of do it a little bit by eye. It gives us a shape. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's put a little bit of pale pink on that shape. Just keep it a bit random. Soften that edge. I think it's raining. Yep. I can hear a lot of power tools out in that shed. I wonder what those boys are up to. I don't want to know. I'm going shopping with my cousin. We're going thrifting, so I'm okay with whatever they want to do, because when I come back with a car full of random items, there won't be an issue, will there, ladies? I'm just going to twist that a little bit. Put that there. Yep. Needle and thread. It's getting short, but that should be enough. So the next petal that sort of catches my eye is probably this guy. And because it's so small, I might just do a slither of the cheesecloth and not so much all of this. So let's just get some stitches in. fiddly, isn't it? So now we need some beads. Our little combination of let's do this. Let's make a mess. Let's really make a mess now. So if anyone asks what those little containers come from, they come from quite a large tray that holds, I think it's about 96 or something like that. Don't quote me on it. The original ones I bought way back, Elizabeth Ward is the brand. So if you Google that on Amazon, you'll see them. But since then, there's been some cheaper knockoffs. So most of my trays are the cheaper ones. And I think I just type in bead storage and Craft Online. They're an Aussie company. They ship overseas. They're based here in Queensland, and they have bead storage solutions. So it's similar to the Elizabeth Ward one, my first one I bought. And I think, don't quote me on price, I think the Elizabeth Ward one was like $100 odd or 18 something dollars. And I was like, holy smokes, but 90 odd little compartments, whatever it was. So I justified it. And I then realized I had a ton of beads that I needed more containers. So I percolated on it for about 3 months thinking that's going to cost a bomb. And then I went looking for bead storage solutions to find something that was a little bit more cost effective, because the other one was just way out of my budget. And Craft Online popped up, and they were $39. Now this is pricing that I paid 2021. So it's possible they're a little bit more now. So if you're wondering, and it's like got a clear lid. It's about so deep, about 1.5 inches deep. It's the size of probably nearly 4 dinner plates. Like, it's a decent size, and all the little bead containers sit in there. Mine are all the same size, and I've got one per colour palette ish, like reds and pinks are together and blues and greens are together, that type of thing. So I love them because at a glance I can grab, the colour palette that I'm chasing. So often I get asked that when they make an appearance in a video. So instead of me typing it for one question, I thought, I might as well yibba yabba to use. So that is my little morsel, and that will sit up in there. I just need to shape that a fraction, I think. Get a bit of a downward curve on it. This reminds me of my Stitch the Seasons piece, where one flower at a time, don't look at anything else, and go for it. Adding stitch and texture. See, that would be perfect now to do some weaving in there. And I'd do it probably in that tone, just to get that throat a little darker, maybe there. We'll see. Oh my goodness, let's just add another hour of work to it. So there you go, guys. I might leave it at that because I feel like that's enough for me to fiddle around with without getting too far ahead of myself. Yeah. So I'll do that little white bit, that little white bit, but it'll be only cheesecloth. Let's just keep fiddling. So I've just taken a tiny little bit off. And Petals from Henna calls this one Almond. If you can't see it, look, just shoot her a message, because she is the sweetest lady. I haven't spoken to her for years, but when I was getting a few supplies up for myself back in the pandemic time, that was a website that I was shopping from, and yeah, she was a lovely lady. So I've got those little bits there just to frost the top of those petals. There we go. That's good. Another little bit. I'm not going to be able to get away from this piece. I can see it coming. There we go. Just remember to keep some form of line so that the eye knows that that is the edge of a petal. If you've been gifted with a good strong line on your flower, try and keep it. So when I stitch this down, where's my needle? I'll roll back these edges to just make sure, because yeah, you'll completely change your flower that you've probably fallen in love with, and sometimes it's those lines that really, yeah, see those two little lines there? Let me zoom in. Those two little lines there. Now if that cheesecloth come over it and broke that visually, completely changes it, makes it look messy. And now that petal's like got no boundary, and you can see the lines here that the artist has used. So if the artist has made an effort to show them, there'd be a very good reason. They're probably quite learned. So as I come and plonk stuff on top, I'm going to make sure that I keep that. There wasn't much lines in under there, but I will double check that when that little piece goes down. Maybe that dark line continues through there. I can't remember now. Let's have a little look. I don't think it did it? Oh, it did. So there you go. When I stitch that, I'll just lower it a little and make sure we at least get a hint of that edge. There we go. All right, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. You can see the little pieces coming together. We've got a bit of a recipe. All right, have a great day. I'm going to dodge off. I've got thrifting to do. I wonder what I'll find. I'll be good if it's that Karen from Bundaberg, Railway Cottage girl. I love it when you show us what you've thrifted, and you're like, I've been to Harvey Bay for the day, and I'm like, darn it, she's been in my backyard. Look at all the treasures she's got. So I'm heading out. Wish me luck, guys. I'll see you later. Bye. Hi guys, I'm back. I was just setting up the shot for the thumbnail on my video, all the fabrics I was just bringing in here for the photo. And I was looking at that center, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do? As I walked away, I thought I'll grab this and pop it away, tidying up my space. And this was sitting there. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I did have a thought with that. So what I end up doing is I've cut myself a little bit of it, like so. You can see it. And I've placed it in there. That is my new center. I can still see the green through it. Let me zoom in. The blue is working beautifully with it, so it's given it that darkness because the green and the mustardy tone is underneath. I don't need to beat it because I've changed the texture, so now my eye seems to think, oh yeah, that's different, it's the center of the flower. So it's just like this little twiggy like look, and I love it, absolutely love it. I think what will happen too is at night when the lights are on in the house, you'll look across this piece and you'll see little sparkles, little movements. So I'm really happy that some of these flowers are getting a little bit of a glamorous touch. Let me zoom in a little bit more and see if that helps you see. See what I mean? It's just a little bit, but it seems to make sense. That there looks a little flat to me, so I think that needs a little something there, but we'll see how we go. All right, guys, I'm definitely going now. Bye. Yes, it's me again. I just moved the piece to where I can sort of leave it and come and go from it. And in the process of tidying up again, look, I found a couple of these. Now this lace I used in the center of my flowers, in the center of those. And I had that piece and I slid it in there. And I had this piece, so I just plonked it there. All right, look at that. That is just softened it beautifully. It sort of makes sense now. And I think I had one of these flowers. I have a feeling that there was a flower here. So this guy, I need to go back to my photo and double check. That does not need probably as much work as I think, but I'll have to check my photo. And there was one piece left. So I was looking up at this big flower. See, I popped him there. I'm pretty sure he was there. I popped that in there. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag the lace that's in those cluster flowers, drizzle it through those flowers, and then layer in the beads and the velvet, the mesh, and all of the other bling. So that'll start tying it all together. Whether I can get maybe some lace into here as well. Where's a morsel? You know, little bits of it into here. So we're now sort of getting, so we're now getting an overall continuity by using a similar fabric, lace, through everything a little bit. Like, that's pretty. That's pretty. Yes. There we go. All right, guys, I'm definitely going this time. Even my washing machine's yelling at me now. I've done a quick load of washing, so it's beeping. I've got to go. Okay, bye.